Scott Morrison has met Prince Charles at the COP26 summit in Glasgow, boasting about Australia's commitment to a net zero target by 2050. The former Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, was quick to inject himself in the French submarines dispute, describing the PM's conduct as sneaky and shameful.
3 weeks ago, Prince Charles was concerned that Scott Morrison wasn't even coming to Glasgow for the COP26 summit.
Scott Morrison, the Australian PM, isn't even certain that he could make it to the meeting in Glasgow?
Is that what he says, is he?
He did say, yeah. He said he's spent enough time in quarantine.
Today, the pair met at the summit and Scott Morrison wanted to make sure the Prince was on top of Australia's net zero emissions commitment.
But now we've committed to net zero by 2050. Australia's done that here at COP26, doubled our climate finance commitments, and we're working very close with our Pacific family, with Prime Minister Scott and the whole team, so which I know you have a great affection for the Pacific.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
But an unwelcome visitor for Scott Morrison at the summit was his predecessor Malcolm Turnbull, who criticised him over his handling of the French submarine controversy and the AUKUS agreement.
If Morrison had wanted to act honestly, let's just imagine that for a minute, hold that thought. If he'd wanted to act honestly, he would have sat down with the French and said, OK, we want to move to naval nuclear propulsion.
According to Scott Morrison, that information could not be shared with Emmanuel Macron, even though he leads a NATO power. Do you accept any of that?
No, I don't accept any of that at all. France placed enormous trust in Australia. I mean, the submarine deal was not just a shipbuilding contract. It was a sovereign partnership between France and Australia. Oh, he's lied to me on many occasions. I mean, there's quite a few examples in my book, but Scott has always had a reputation for telling lies. I mean, look, you're all in the press gallery, right? You know that.
But he was not the centre of attention at COP26, where more was made of the lack of more ambitious targets from China, India and Russia. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson today welcomed an agreement by more than 100 world leaders for an end to deforestation by 2030.
I thank my friends and colleagues for their leadership, but I say to everybody else here at this COP, let's end this great global chainsaw massacre by making conservation do what we know it can do, and that is deliver long-term sustainable jobs and growth as well.